Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. We're just going to give one more minute to let everyone get settled before we get started. All right. Welcome, everyone. Today, we're thrilled to have Dan Gallina, Vice President of National Accounts at Oceanview. Dan's extensive experience in the annuities industry has made him a go-to expert for innovative solutions and business growth. Known for his exceptional communication and relationship-building skills, Dan is consistently delivering value through his creative problem-solving and deep knowledge of the annuities market. In today's presentation, Dan will provide an in-depth look at Oceanview and its innovative products. He'll also be sharing valuable sales concepts to help you better serve your clients and grow your business. With that, I'll let you have the floor, Dan.
Well, good morning or good afternoon, depending on where you are in the country. And thank you very much for the opportunity to talk about Oceanview. And my plan through this presentation is to give you an overview of Oceanview and our products through our company deep dive. And pass this. I will go through our agenda today. We'll be talking about who is Oceanview, go through our 3 products and our product suite, give you a quick snapshot of our operations and our SLAs. And I won't show all the marketing pieces, but just give you an idea, a little flavor of what we have to offer. And then you can go to our website to see the full line of marketing resources and sales tools we have. So let me start off by talking about who is Oceanview. I'm sure many of you have heard of Oceanview, may even be familiar with us in depth, but just to give a quick overview of or reminder of who we are. We're based in Denver, Colorado. We do business in 47 states. We don't do business in New York, and I don't think we ever will. But knock on wood, we'll be in Connecticut and Vermont by the end of this year, if not very early 2025. When we take a look at Oceanview's financials, very strong company. I'll probably think most of you will probably think the biggest thing to look at is the A on the left-hand side. And I would say that is probably a big selling point for Oceanview at this point, that we are now a full A as of November of 2023, upgraded from AM Best to a full A. But overall financial strength is fantastic. A hefty portion of cash and surplus, another number to focus on would be our risk-based capital at 388%, which is well above the average of the industry. So although Oceanview is, started doing business in 2020, we've continued to grow year by year incrementally. We started out with just under $1 billion in sales in 2020, and we will probably finish this year just over $4 billion. So slow, steady growth, but we continue to grow and get larger and larger. And as you'll see, we've even expanded our portfolio of products this year. So let's take a look at our product suite. We have 3 products available to you. We have our Harbourview MIGA, our Harbourview fixed index annuity, and the new product, Topsider, our new fixed index annuity, available exclusively through Simplicity and the Simplicity shops that they have, one of them being NFI Solutions. So let's take a closer look at each product. So we'll start with the MIGA, probably the easiest of all the stories. We have a very, very simple MIGA, like most that are on the street. We have tenors 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 10 years. We issue up to age 89 in 364 days. So as long as the client hasn't hit the age of 90, we'll issue the policy. And it does have a 10% free withdrawal starting the second year. When we look at Harbourview MIGA as where it's selling in the marketplace, we get a lot of business for the early tenors, the 2, the 3, and the 5 year. But the bulk of our business has been in either the 2 or the 3 year. That's where our pricing has been dominant in the marketplace from the beginning. And we continue to price very well there, either at the top of the rates or very close to the top. We've seen a shift towards more business in the 5-year tenor as more agents and clients are getting concerned about lowering the interest rates in the marketplace today and wanting to lock in longer gains. We've repositioned our 5-year to be more competitive, and you'll see is that At times, we will be at the top of the 5-year as well. But again, the short tenors is really where Oceanview has done its best and continues to get the bulk of the business. If we move on to our Harbourview fixed index annuity, I will continue by saying another very simple product to present, not a lot of moving parts. And that is one of the things that's leading to its increasing sales year over year. This will be a record year for Oceanview on fixed index annuity sales. We actually surpassed last year's sales numbers in June of this year, and we're expected to exceed our sales goal by the end of October. So great numbers coming in on this product as more and more people get familiar with Harbourview fixed index annuity. And I think you'll see as I go through this a few key points that'll help out in you presenting this to your clients as well. First off, durations, we got a 3, 7, and 10-year surrender period. We issue up to age 84 and 364 days. So again, long as the client hasn't turned 85, we'll issue the policy, 10% free withdrawal. And then we've got some additional liquidity on this product, either a terminal illness waiver or a nursing home confinement waiver. As far as the strategies, we'll continue with the simple story. By only having the S&P, Russell, and NASDAQ as your indices, all well-known names, we're one of 4 carriers that offers either the Russell or the NASDAQ, and I believe we're one of the very few of those 4 that has both. That has definitely helped out in carving a niche in the marketplace with the Harbourview fixed index annuity, offering these 2 indices. As you'll see in the next slide or next couple of slides I have, the NASDAQ and the Russell have outperformed the S&P over the last 10 years. And here's an opportunity to offer a well-known name other than the S&P and get your clients some more performance. But if we take a look at the strategies we have, when it comes to the S&P 500, we've got the annual cap, which is, as we know, the most popular strategy in the index annuity marketplace, with 73% of all fixed index annuities use the S&P 500 cap rate. One other thing I'll point out is we do have a daily risk control or low volatility strategy. That's also S&P, so still staying with a well-known name. We have the 5% and the 10% excess return. And if you're looking for opportunity for more growth in a low volatility, the 10% excess return will give that to you, because, of course, we need more volatility before we'll start shifting to cash. I also point out that of all the low volatility strategies in the marketplace, and I think the number is right around 162 right now, there are only 8 that offer a 10% excess return, and one of those is here at Oceanview. What I'll also point out is no bespoke indexes, so no strange or unknown strategies, no back testing. Everything that's in here is live data. So when you run an illustration, the performance in that illustration is based off of live data and what that indice has performed over the last 10 years. And of course, we've got a fixed bucket. Right now, the fixed bucket is probably what's driving the majority of our sales, as we tend to have very high 1-year fixed bucket opportunities for your clients to take advantage of. And here's that chart I was telling you about. So we went back and took a look at the S&P, Russell, and NASDAQ over the last 10 years. And I know this chart says 2002 to 2022, and I apologize if the new slide wasn't put in, but the numbers are pretty much the same. What you're going to find is that the S&P is lagging behind the Russell, and the NASDAQ is top performers. Even in 2023, the NASDAQ was the top. So having the opportunity to offer the other strategies gives you some distinction in the marketplace versus the other products. And if you were to call our sales desk, my direction to them is to run illustrations on 1/3 of each of these strategies. We price the caps all the same, so they'll all have the same cap rate, but it does give the client the opportunity to participate in all 3 indices. Whichever one is up, and they typically all move in tandem, the client will get the advantage of whatever the winner is that year. And we move on to our next product. Topsider, our new fixed index annuity. Again, available only through Simplicity in the Simplicity shops like NFI. This is our newest fixed index annuity, and this was built in a joint effort with Simplicity to come up with this new concept of of a fixed index annuity, which allows the client not only to get everything you see in our traditional fixed index annuity for accumulation, the Harbourview FIA, but it allows the client to have an enhanced growth potential through a new feature called the gain control option. And by incorporating this, it's going to allow the client to get better performance than you would find in a, well, I'll call plain vanilla accumulation product like the Harbourview fixed index annuity. And if you think of it from this standpoint, through I'll call it the evolution of the marketplace, we've had our safe money alternatives. Many of you have said, well, I can grab some of that safe money that's on the sidelines and I can offer a MYGA or a fixed annuity to get better performance, tax deferred growth, and everything that a fixed annuity offers. And then we kind of moved to, we needed a little more performance than a MYGA and a low interest rate environment. And we said, well, maybe I'll start selling fixed index annuities because the performance there is a little better than a MYGA typically. And now is the opportunity to go one step further, and that's say, how can I get better performance or better growth opportunity on a fixed index annuity for my client, but still have all the features? And that's really where you're going to get Topsider. So think of this as taking the Harbourview fixed index annuity and having a bolt-on option, which is going to give our clients better performance. And let's walk through this product. So when it comes to the specs, it's very, very, very similar to what you saw with the Harbourview fixed index annuity. 5, 7, and 10-year durations, issue up to age 84, 10% per withdrawal. You have the terminal illness waiver and the nursing home and confinement waiver, but then you have that other bullet point, which is the gain control option, which I'll walk you through in just a moment. When it comes to the crediting strategies, slimmed it down, made the story even simpler with only 2 strategies in a fixed account. The S&P 500 daily risk control, 10% excess return. This is the strategy that we're going to use with the gain control option. And then you've got that very, very popular S&P annual point-to-point cap and a fixed account as well. Just to go one step further on the daily risk control, because I think this is a big selling point for the product. Again, using the 10% excess return instead of a 5%, giving the client the opportunity for greater growth within this strategy. It also provides us as a carrier better pricing because the stable option pricing on this index has been fantastic historically. As I said previously in my other slide, live data, there's currently 15 years of live data on this. So when you run an illustration, it is truly what has happened the last 10 years or last 15 years. And when we talk about how the volatility control works, we're going to shift between the S&P and cash, depending on the volatility, where the volatility target is, and we're going to move between that. One nice thing about this strategy is it is a volatility control cash feature versus a bond feature. So we kind of take out the interest rate risk and take out, the opportunity to leave more money on the sidelines of the bond portfolio to gain yield, because with cash there is no yield. So this is going to need to be more in the S&P to get the performance it gets. And just to let you know, this strategy year over year, as of yesterday, is just over an 18% return. So it's performing very well, even in its purpose of being low volatility and taking out all the bumps and trying to make a smooth ride. It's still performing very well in this marketplace. So let's talk about the gain control option, this added feature to our accumulation product, which is going to give your client the opportunity to get better performance. And that's working through the opportunity for the client to take a portion of the credit they get each year. So let's just make very simple example. My client has a 10% return. I'll take a portion of that 10% return and put it into my account value. And the other portion I will use to help buy up or gain control of an option to get a higher participation rate. So maybe I started 100%, and through my gain option, I now have the opportunity to buy up to 175% par rate. And there's 3 ways we can look at this. Well, first, of course, is the enhanced growth potential by having the opportunity to buy up and market cycles and get and maximize over the long term by having multiple years in a row that the S&P is up. I'm going to get the opportunity to buy up multiple times and move myself up to the maximum participation rate in this feature is 300%. And when you do run an illustration, you're going to see many times it hits 300%. And that's going to be a great opportunity for your clients to get much greater growth. There's two ways we can look at this, through the convenience or the flexibility. I'm going to go to the next slide. So the convenience would be the automatic setting, and that would be the opportunity. I'll look at it as a buy and hold, a set it and forget it. I'm going to purchase the product. I'm going to put my money into the allocation of the low volatility strategy. And at the end of the first year, I'm just going to stay with the default, which is 50% of my gain will go into my account value, and up to 50% will be used for gain control or buying up a higher par rate. But I do have the option every year, because as we know, every year we have the opportunity to sit down with our clients and to go through our annual review and then make changes to our allocation. So at the end of every year, we still have the option to change that. We can maintain the 50% and kind of the set it and forget it. But if I have a really great year, let's say I have a 20% or greater return that comes out of this gain control feature, I can just say I'm going to take that whole 20%, and instead of buying up for the next year, I'm going to have that just go all into my account value. I have that option. I can opt out, not do a buy up, take all the gain and have it go in my account value. Or I even have the opportunity to use an increase in my buy up at 75% and kind of really boost or supercharge my buy up feature and get myself a higher participation rate sooner. So, maybe in my past example, the 50% got me to 175. Maybe the 75% buy up gets me to 250. Hypothetical numbers, but you can see that the extra 25% is going to give me more buy up option and get me to a higher participation sooner. And really where all this fits is this chart. And when we look at this chart, it's not a matter of looking at how high the S&P went or how bad it was on the downside. What we really want to focus on is what the S&P does after a down year. Because as I said before, the way this product works best and the way it's worked historically, when you look at the hypotheticals, is when I've had multiple years of positive return. So fortunate for us in our research, we can look at since 1948, the S&P has had really great years. It's only had 16 downturns, 16 market downturns. But as we can see from the chart here, 94% of the time after the S&P is down, we get 2 or more years of up performance. 67% of the time, 3 or more years are up. So now we can look at, if I start at 100% par rate, maybe the second year I do a buy up and maybe I'm at 150. Then it goes up again. Maybe I'm over 200% now. Third year up, now I'm at 300%. I had that opportunity for growth, and you're going to see in the hypothetical, you're going to see really great performance as well from this strategy. As I said, year over year, it's at 18% right now. Let's move on to talking about Oceanview from an efficiency of taking care of paperwork, processing, contracts, and making your life easier when working with us. So when we take a look at our new business processing, when we receive an application, we generate a policy number the same day as long as we receive that paperwork before 3 o'clock. If, and I know it happens every once in a while, we have a NIGO. NIGO requirements will be in our portal within 1 to 3 days. We send out LOAs, or the transfer paperwork, when all paperwork is in good order, to the surrendering company within 3 days. Cash with app says here in the bullet point in 3 days. Right now, cash with app is issuing in 48 hours. And we do a fantastic job of being efficient. We have 3 offices across the country: Atlanta, Grimes, Iowa, and Phoenix, Arizona. 3 processing centers that process business through the time zones throughout the day. And then we have folks that work overnight to do data entry. So we almost process business 24 hours a day. So when we get a flood of business, like we're getting right now in both the MAGA and the fixed index annuity, we're able to digest that and stay within our SLAs. Additionally, we pay MIGA commissions daily, and we pay FIA commissions every Friday. We do a sweep every Thursday, and we pay commissions every Friday. Let's move on to marketing resources. Like I said, I won't show you everything, just kind of give you a splash of what we have. You can go to our website and see all the materials we have, all the marketing tools, all the sales tools available to you. There's no login needed. You can just go to the Oceanview website and say you're a financial professional and click on all the resources that you want to take a look at. So if we take a look first at the fixed index annuity strategies, this is probably the ones that will be most relevant to your story where you're going to need marketing materials. First off, on the left-hand side, you've got our educational pieces talking about how does a point-to-point work or how does a participation rate work. If you really wanted to pass that on to a client that didn't understand how a fixed index annuity works, you can share that with them. Of course, we got the one-page slip sheets for each of the index strategies. Those are always helpful for a client, especially when it comes to NASDAQ. A lot of clients think that's only tech, but that has changed with the NASDAQ 100. You're going to see a lot more companies that are familiar with what folks are using every day. I mean, Starbucks is in there, Pepsi's in there, Amazon is a tech company, but I don't think many of our customers will think of it as a tech company, but Amazon's there and so on. So I think if you show them the slip sheet, they'll have a better understanding that, the NASDAQ's a good spot for them. And it's not just the Broadcoms and the NVIDIAs of the world. Additionally, for other resources for FIAs, we've got getting back to the service, which talks about volatility. You've got the index comparison, which I showed you on our slides. And one of our most popular pieces, anchoring allocations, is a great piece to talk about either doing a split ticket or a laddering option between MIGA and FIA. So two ways you can put it. You can look at this from the standpoint as it is on the screen, using a laddering option, a 5-year MIGA and a 10-year fixed index annuity. But you also can look at it from a split ticket, a 5-year MIGA and a 5-year fixed index annuity, using the MIGA as your fixed bucket. You have a 5-year stagnant fixed bucket, and then you use the index annuity for the index strategies to get more return from that side. So that piece has been very popular, and almost every option is available. So 5 and 10, 5 and 5. If you wanted to look at using a 3-year MIGA and a 7-year index annuity, we have examples of all that if that's what you'd like to present to your client. And finally, we started to put together just some educational pieces for clients. One of them being protecting your principal and achieving long-term goals. Just an educational piece on why a fixed index annuity might be a best fit in their portfolio, and then leave a legacy. Especially as we come towards the end of the year, a lot of clients start to think about passing money on. I know that November and December is a big market spot for single premium life. This is the perfect place to position this for those clients that answer one of those knockout questions and don't qualify. This could be your fallback piece. I can offer Oceanview's Harbourview fixed index annuity. I still give my client tax deferred growth. I still give them liquidity. I don't get the acceleration of the death benefit, but I do allow them to pass those dollars on probate free to their heirs, which, in most cases is really what they're looking to do. They want to make sure those dollars get in the right hands. So that may be a great piece for you to fall back on should your clients not qualify for the single premium life. So what did we talk about today? We talked about Oceanview, based in Denver, Colorado, financially strong. We went through an overview of all of our products. You've got the Harbourview MIGA, the Harbourview fixed index annuity, and the latest release, which is the Topsider, with a joint venture with Simplicity. Went through our SLAs, operations, and some of our sales tools. I think probably by now, hopefully I've given you enough information that I've piqued your interest. And you might be saying, I need to get some illustrations, or I'd love some more information. And here's an opportunity. One, for all those client names that have come to mind, jot those down now. Don't forget about who you were thinking about. Jot down those 4 or 5 names of clients that you want to call about Oceanview. And anything that you need from an illustration or support, of course, our friends at NFI are there to help you with anything else they can help you with in making case design or closing the sale or getting you any literature you need. They do an amazing job, and we're happy to partner with them. And of course, if there's anything out of their scope that they need some assistance on, they can reach out to me and the folks here at Oceanview. And with that, I will say thank you very much and open it up for questions.
Thank you so much, Dan. We do have some questions rolling in here. First one being, what do appointment and application processing times look like right now?
Application and processing time. So actually new apps. So Cash with App is right now running about 48 hours.
And then for appointments, if they want to get contracted.
So contracting with us, we use SureLC. So one of the things that's beneficial from that standpoint, that we put our product training within SureLC. So when you sign off on the SureLC paperwork, you're also making attestation that you did the product training. It depends on state to state, to be honest with you, depending on the state and how quickly we get the background check. Sometimes it's a few days, and I will say that there have been times it has taken 3 weeks to get a background check from certain states. So we process it very quickly. Our biggest delay is just getting the background checks.
Thank you so much. Another one here is, what was the 5-year MIGA term rate again?
What is the rate today? I didn't put them in because the rates are changing on Friday, so I didn't put the rates in on purpose. But the rates will be coming on Friday. I don't have the final numbers, unfortunately, because I will be on another conference call in a couple hours where we'll finalize those.
That's totally fine. Folks, if you have questions about those rates, feel free to reach out to NFI Solutions at 952-887-1239. And one other question here is, what kinds of clients would be best fit for that Harbourview fixed indexed annuity?
I think you could look at it from the standpoint of 3 ways. Either the safe money alternative. I think it's a great spot for the client that is kind of in between, hasn't really retired, but has money they need to move. So I look at it from the standpoint that we can take our profits from other parts of our portfolio and put them into the fixed index annuity. Maybe we do a 5 or 7 year surrender, depending on the timeline, but that gives us the opportunity to hold and save those profits from any losses, but still have steady gains from the point forward. And then it's an opportunity, which I'm seeing a lot of shift right now, is MIGA's coming due and not knowing that I want to move to something that can get better rates as interest rates are coming down. We're seeing a lot of shift, even internally at Oceanview, from MIGAs to FIAs.
Excellent. Thank you. What will Oceanview accept for surrender charges on replacements?
So on the Harbourview fixed index annuity, we will take up to 6% if you put all of the money into the fixed account for the first year.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much. Looks like we are out of time today, folks. Thank you so much, Dan, for sharing your insights. We really appreciate your time. Thank you all for tuning in. Getting appointed with NFI Solutions and Oceanview brings your clients financial success within reach. If you have any questions or need any additional help, please contact NFI Solutions at 952-887-1239. We are here for you every step of the way. Stay informed and keep striving for success. Thanks all for joining us, and see you next time.